Some free champions inside of Raid are kind of up in the air in the discussion as to whether or not they are worth building, whereas others are just absolute never builds under basically any circumstance. And then there are some freebies inside of Raid that are just absolute must builds, sort of no matter what, like they're always going to get good value on your account. No spoilers, man. Before we get to the list, if you're looking to start with a new Raid account, man, make sure to get that done right now by going ahead and using the beginner promo link that's down below this video, man. Click on that link down below at the top of the description box, man, on laptop or PC, and use that link to create a new Raid account, man, for all of the free stuff that you see on screen right now. It's the best possible way to create a new Raid account, man. Secure your triple legendary start today. It all begins by using that link down below, man, for Basilius Varanus. Get your account made before October 30th, where Michelangelo is still the login reward legendary champion. The clock is ticking on that. And then you can use a beginner promo code of your choice. I'd recommend Desert Queen 42 Hanorak, man, to skew that triple legendary start. And you know what, man, let's first start off with the epic champions. There are not many epic champions that you get completely for free inside of Raid that come anywhere close to the power level of Dark Kael, and that are actually worth building out pretty much every single time up to level 60. But Dark Kael is definitely one of them, right? This is a Doom Tower Secret Room epic champion, so it's going to take a while of farming normal Doom Tower secret rooms to get your hands on him. You get your hands on him quite late, which sucks a little bit for a poison damage dealer, but I mean, this is a legendary champion, man. I don't care what anybody says. Dark Kael is like just debatably approaching the power level of Supreme Kael, who is actually a Void legendary. Am I going overboard by saying that? I'll let you guys be the judges of that, man. Dark Kael brings a triple hitter A1 each hit with a 35% chance to instantly activate 2 poison debuffs or 1 poison debuff and 1 HP burn, right? Amazing poison and burn activation on this A1. Triple hitter makes this nutty as hell. Very, very good A1 skill. On the A2, 3-turn cooldown. Attack all enemies, 100% land, strong version, decrease attack. Each crit, which should be all of these hits, also has a chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn, right? So this guy is a crit rate gauntlets candidate. Amazing force to bear, man. Just for the 100% land rate decreased attack alone, this is a very, very good skill. Demon Lord, Ice Golem, Dragon, all of those kinds of areas. And then on the A3 has a 100% chance buck to placing 3 5% poison debuffs and a poison sensitivity debuff on the target for 2 turns. Very, very nice. Also on a 3-turn cooldown. That's crazy, again, into all of the aforementioned places already, especially Demon Lord and Dragon, but it's not even over yet, because the bloody passive is good as well. Decrease the crit rate of enemies under 2 or more poison debuffs by 15%. Just nullifying that threat of, you know, Ice Golem or Dragon or Demon Lord one-shotting your guys. That's pretty much it. Again, you get Dark Kael a little bit late on, but he's that bloody powerful that most of the time you can end up taking him up to 6 stars anyway, just in case, like Hard Dragon shows up in Curse City and stuff like that, right? And you can only use certain champion types because you're faction limited. He's basically always going to get value. Next up, Haikatoon is making this list. I don't even care. I'm never going to shut the hell up about how worthwhile this champion is building for, I want to say, 90+% of accounts. The only situation in which you don't build Haikatoon is if, I don't know, like on a brand new account, you just buy Elva Autumnborn or something, like with the returning players pack, in which case, fair enough, you've already then got a 90% speed aura in all battles. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you pull some ancient shards, like a month or 2 into the game, and you open like a Deacon Armstrong, or you pull like an apothecary or something, and so you've already got that, ally speed aura and that 10 meter boost and that increased speed buff action going on in different ways with other champions that you want to build instead. But if you don't happen to pull a Deacon, you don't have an Elva, and you don't find yourself an apothecary, which is most players, just build the gosh darn Haikatoon. I use this champion on my free-to-play account in my Hydra team for taking on Hard Hydra currently. This right here that you see it on screen right now, I'm just going to pause this as like an old video clip. This is the team I'm using into Hard Hydra on my free-to-play account, bro. It's kind of nuts how budget this is, man. Budget Provoker with Seeker. Haikatoon is the aura lead. That's the value that I put on these 19% speed aura in all battles. It's that valuable, and increased speed is such a powerful buff, man. If she's your only option to take into a Hydra team like this, I'd take her. Okay, obviously there are a lot of other better options that you can take, but you don't have those options on a super early game account, and so she's well worth, she earns her place on this team, which is bloody insane, But not quite as insane is the amount of disrespect that she gets, you know, from players who just generally speaking won't build that. I've seen plenty of accounts that use her as a 4-star chicken as soon as they get High Katoon, which just blows my mind and makes me really, really sad. She's got decent wave control. She brings a decreased speed debuff from the A1, helpful into super early game Chimera and stuff like that. And you're kind of always going to get value out of a High Katoon until you eventually find just a legendary barbarian that brings increased speed buff, but from an increased speed buff in stuff like Faction Wars as well. And the last epic champion that didn't take very long is going to be Dark Elhain. Dark Elhain, superior to Dark Aethel, in my view. Some people disagree. I think you're nuts. Respectfully disagree is what I meant to say, you know. Oh, I gotta get the politically correct response over here, you know what I'm saying? But Dark Elhain is solid. She's always gonna be solid into wave content at least, just because she self-buffs with increased attack and has a 75% land rate, strong decreased speed debuff on her attack all enemies A2, unless on a 310 cooldown. So she's pretty much always gonna get good value into wave content, kind of forever on your account. You can of course use it into areas where freeze debuffs could well be a problem. She can instantly just cleanse those off of herself. She counterattacks when she gets frozen, blah 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 blah, you know. That's all very, very cool. She can help out into Spider, Frost Spider and Ice Golem and that kind of thing. But honestly, what actually gives her long-term value, because you're probably going to replace her in those areas eventually anyway, what gives her long-term value for me is actually the decreased speed debuff and the fact that she can do pretty decent damage with this A2 skill as well, making her just very, very good in the long term into wave content. And so onto the legendaries, man, where we're going to jump straight from Dark Elhain down to the Logan Reward champion after 9 months. It's Physix the Unbowed. This is an incredible, incredible candidate to be receiving your legendary skill tomes. If you need a reliable provoker on your account to take into Hydra, she's going to do that job with her A3 on a 310 cooldown. Very, very bloody good. Physix, I like to say this about Physix, man. She's the solve everything champion. Really, people way undervalue her for some odd reason. I don't know what that is. She's an incredibly good champion, especially if your account has been slow walking and sort of plodding along and struggling for a while into just normal dungeons and stuff like that. Brings a double hit at A1 that brings 10 meter steel. This is great into Spider, it's great into Fire Knight. Again, because of the provoke, she can also be a clutch wave protector and just keep your team safe and get you to the Fire Knight boss because of this A3. And then she also brings an attack all enemies AoE decreased speed plus ally protection buff as well on her A2, both of which are going to be great for early progression into Hydra and just ally protect. Like, she's just amazing into Faction Wars. She's bloody very, very good everywhere. You know, she's one of those it's like a jack of all trades in just a lot of areas of content. And basically any area of the game that you're struggling in when you're 9 months into your account, you can kind of trust that the Physix is going to come in and fix it, whether that's Hydra or Fire Knight or Spider or whatever, you know. And for me, for her wave control and for just finishing Faction Wars for your Dark Elves, for me, she is a must build. You know, man, let's actually jump into the Tag Arena token legendary champion, which is going to be Drexthar Blood Twin, which I don't know why I'm looking at my bazaar because I already have them fused, but you collect up Drexthar's fragments from farming the crap out of Tag Arena, and you can get your Drexthar after like 3 to 5 months, depends how active you are at farming Tag Arena. This is a great value champion and basically a must build for everybody, I want to say. And it mostly comes down to his passive. So on his A1, he brings a triple hitter with a chance of blessing HP burn. You know, not bad, Fire Knight, all that stuff. Brings a bit of wave control as well with an attack all enemies chance of placing provoke on his A2. It's not a super reliable provoke unless the enemy's under HP burn, so do just bear that in mind. He's not like the best Hydra provoker or whatever. In fact, he's probably not even worth the skill books for most players, which is fine because he does just fine without the skill tomes. You know, most of your Drexthar's value is going to come from the HP burn debuff that he places when attacked by enemies on his passive, right? It means that you can use Drexthar into teams like Griffin, into teams like Frost Spider, areas of the game where HP burn is very, very good against bosses. And all your Drexthar's got to do is live. In fact, you can use your Drexthar to solo certain bosses in this game as well by just letting this HP burn do all of the damage, and you just build him with like Immortal Gear, Regeneration Gear, that kind of thing, and just make it so that he just can't die. You know, maybe put like another healer in alongside him or something, and you can just get like very, very cheesy kills against stuff like Griffin and stuff like that. Useful champion for Spider progression and all of that, but honestly, just building him out for his HP burn ability alone is enough reason to build him. Because who the hell knows, again, how you might be faction limited in stuff like Curse City and stuff like that, you know. And the fact that he doesn't take books, you might as well get your Drexthar built, you know. Very, very cheap champion to build at the end of the day. Now, speaking of legendaries that don't require books, a lot of people say Scylla the Drakes, she's been power crept, she's this, she's that. again, she's just a good jack of all trades healer. For me, that's like a solid 6 out of 10 legendary champion into all areas of the game. But she gets that extra value because she just doesn't need the bucks, you know? You can use Scylla the Drix alongside a Drexthar and just use the Scylla's healing and stuns and a revive skill. To build a Spider's Den team where you build the Drexthar into stage 20 Spider with just regeneration gear and high resistance, and the Scylla's going to help to keep the Drexthar alive, and all of the Spiderlings going to attack into the Drexthar as long as he's the only Force Affinity champion on the team. So these two make a very, very good little champion duo for cheesing your way through not just Spider but also Griffin, like we mentioned as well. The fact that she brings a revive on a A3, it's a long cooldown without bucks, but again, who cares? She brings so much healing on her passive anyway that people don't often die if this is still on the team, but she's always going to get good value into faction wars as a result anyway. And so it's difficult to imagine a scenario where you don't build the cell, at least for faction wars, if not also for those cheesy Scylla the Drexthar sort of like combo teams. Next up, getting to some slightly more advanced freebie champions that you can pick on up, we're going to go ahead and track down Big Eurost the Soul Cage. Takes a little while to get your hands on this guy. We're talking hard mode Doom Tower secret rooms, right? So we're jumping ahead a little bit here in terms of difficulty for getting Eurost. His reviews are not great, with good reason. He's not actually very good into many areas of the game, to be honest. That said, those reviews are just a little bit unfair. People are hoping for more powerful legendary champions from hard mode Doom Tower secret rooms, and most of them kind of suck, and so I kind of feel like people rage a little bit at poor Eurost, and he just catches some strays. The truth is that he's a very, very solid, very, very survivable champion that's great for wave control. So his A2 is an attack all enemies, 100% land rate, 10-minute decrease on enemies under 1 or more poison debuffs. Also has a chance of placing decreased speed if they've got 2 or more poison debuffs, and has a 100% land rate stun on enemies with 3 or more poison debuffs. So combo him with any poison debuffer champion in the game, and you have a champion that is going to single-handedly permanently control waves of enemies, which is very, very valuable into wave content. He also brings Strengthen buff and Ally Protection buff on a 3-10 cooldown, which is a very, very good combination of buffs to bring along as well. Again, just making your teams kind of unkillable into faction wars. Very, very nice, in my view. And then on his passive, he's another one of those champions. He's HP based as well. He's another one of those champions that can just solo Scarab. You know, and for me, you can't really have too many champions that can solo Scarab. Pretty sure he can solo Ice Golem in Dragon tournaments and stuff like that as well, and so, you know, that's always nice to have. But when attacked, 75% chance of placing poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. Also, whenever an ally is attacked while under Strengthen, which he places, of course, with his A3, has a 70% chance of placing Provoke on the attacker for a turn. And whenever increases champion's max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed from this champion. So he's just bloody tanky. He's just bloody survivable, you know? He's not an exciting must build. In fact, I expect that this is probably one of the champions on this list that I'm going to get the most pushback for and the most disagreement for, and that's totally fine. I'm a little bit of a sucker for champions that can solo bosses. What can I say? You know, basically any champion that can solo bosses without requiring skill bucks, which Eurost doesn't need the bucks, to be honest. They make him more effective in the wave controller role, and like the keeping your team alive role with the A2 and the A3, and that's fine. You don't need to buck him. You can just build him and put him in regeneration gear with like, yeah, like, that's it, really, and just have him solo Scarab, and that's a totally fine use for your roster. Have him solo dungeon tournaments and stuff like that. That's a totally fine use for him, man. So I think he deserves a place in this list, even though, you know, I agree with people. I wish he had more ways of placing poison himself so that he could, he didn't rely so much on being put with another poison champion to get more value out of Zaytu. I think that's the biggest drawback of his kit, so I understand why he gets some crap. Next up, moving on to the Orcs faction. This is a champion that I do not have yet on my main account. Still working my way towards collecting fragments for Val the Destroyer. This is just a bloody juicy little champion. Just a great, great Hydra damage dealer. Now, you might get to a point in your account where you already have some great S-tier quality Hydra damage dealers by the time you get him, in which case you might overlook building Val. You might build him as like a fun passion project, whatever, and find that he doesn't find a place in your Hydra teams. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine, you know. It depends where your account is at. If you need a good solid Hydra damage dealer for even like a C team into Hydra or something, or just against certain affinities of Hydra, this might be your Orc, man. This is a powerful champion, and it's actually a champion that people like a lot, that comes out of Doom Tower secret rooms in Hard Doom Tower. which is rare. You know, he's one of the rare standout good champions that you can actually get. So he brings an attack when enemy heals for some of the damage inflicted, brings an attack all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown bucked, 100% chance of placing weakened debuff and decrease attack debuff on all enemies. That's great to have on a damage dealer champion. Great utility. He checks those boxes. Really, really good to bring into Hydra. And then he brings an attack when enemy ignores 30% of the target's defense and destroys the target's max HP. Place a block damage buff on this champion if this attack kills an enemy, which is just a nice little bonus. It's just a very, very hard-hitting skill. It's a 4-turn cooldown. Yeah, it hits like a 4-turn cooldown skill that ignores defense. You know, what do you expect? What really makes Vaal stand out though as a Hydra damage dealer is the passive. Increase this champion's attack by 10% each time they use an active skill, stacking up to 100%. You get like an increased attack buff on this guy as well. Very, very quickly throughout the course of a Hydra fight, you're going to ramp up to like, what's the increased attack buff? Is it like 50%? No, it's actually 60%, isn't it? Like 160% attack stat on this guy. What am I talking about, man? Increased attack is a 50%. Why did I think it was 60? What the hell's wrong with me? Either way, whatever, man. Vaal is a great damage dealer to bring along, especially into just any kind of longer duration fight. I wonder how well he'd even do into the likes of Chimera, you know. Maybe you do find it a Chimera too. I mean, by then you should probably have like a better Chimera damage dealer by the time you get him, so maybe that's a bit of a moot point, but there you go. Another champion that we're going to touch on is, of course, going to be Mithrala. Mithrala is one of those champions who, honestly, you read her kit and she does a little bit of everything. Double hit at A1, brings poison, 100% land. Very nice. You know, it's a nice to have. She brings Hex debuff on a 3-turn on the A2, as well as increased defense, increased attack buffs. Then she brings debuff cleanse, strengthen, and shield buffs on the A3. Which is also very, very good. I actually use my Mithrala into Hard Mode Dragon for the debuff cleanse, and she does a great job. And the poisons, of course, help out there as well. And the increased defense helps out there as well. And again, like her kits, she just brings so much to the table that you find that she just fits into teams where you wouldn't really expect her. She can show up in PvP teams and do just fine. Also, she's also got that very, very unique added benefit in PvP of increasing her resistance equal to the amount of accuracy that she has, right? She converts accuracy directly into resistance stat. So you just build her with like 700 bloody accuracy if you want to, you know? And she's basically debuff immune, which is kind of crazy. Like, that's kind of insanely OP into the likes of PvP as well. So she can show up in plenty of Tag Arena teams, tend to run a Mithrala. And anywhere where you're looking to cleanse debuffs, to be fair, and benefit from Hex. Hydra, Ice Golem, Hard Mode Dragon. She's just going to show up in a lot of different teams, and needless to say, she easily makes this list. And I'm going to confidently say that that's all. I don't think Grush makes this list. Tyrnix is a piece of crap. Lord Legionary is a piece of crap. Dark Aethel is just a bad Dark Elhain. Yaga, don't even talk to me about Yaga. I think that these are all of the champions that are actually must builds from freebies. Am I missing any? I'm not going to go ahead and include like the Plarium Points Program reward Searsha. That's just not going to happen. That's just not in the ballpark. Like, okay, he's free to play in the most technical sense that you could possibly ever have a free to play champion, but like, let's be real, you know what I'm saying? Did I miss any off of this list? Do you guys think that I missed any off of this list? Is there any champions that you would recommend that everybody build that I didn't touch on? I think that I covered. I think I'm pretty confident in this one. Let me know if I'm wrong, man. Let me know if I'm wrong. Thanks for stopping by, man. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you did like on the video. And of course, if you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, make sure to get that done right now by using the beginner promo link that's down below this video at the top of the description box. And I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.